Alright friends, we're going to try and do a special project. It's called the scavenger hunt. My iPad is kind of switched up its camera the way it works, and so I'm going to try to do this, but we'll have to see how it goes. So I'm going to look around the house for different shapes that I can trace, and I have my paper with me, and I have something to trace the shapes with. So I'm just going to go around the house and I'm going to look for some things. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so I am still here in my work area, and I'm going to use what I have here first, and I have a roll of tape, and so I'm going to turn my screen around. So now you're seeing from the back, and you see my tape there. Hold on, I'm going to trace it. So there's my tape roll. I traced it. I used a blue marker so you could see it well. I would use a pencil if I were you. So let's move on and see what else that I can find. Okay, so now I'm in the kitchen and I found my mom's red raspberry Smuckers, and I noticed that it is also a circle, but it is a different size circle than what my tape roll was. See that, how it's a little smaller? You can see all the way around it. And I don't want to put it right in the middle. I'm just going to try to make a design with it. So I'm going to set it off somewhere to the side. Yours could be touching or not touching. It doesn't matter. And I'm just going to trace it with the marker. Hold on a second. Okay, so I traced around Mom's jelly jar there. And now I have 2 circles. Now I could probably look around here and find some more shapes, but they don't all have to be circles. So I do have this handy dandy French's mustard, and I could also add that to my paper, and I think I am. I'm going to just set it right here at the top, and hold on a second, I'm going to trace it. Okay, so I have traced my mustard, and when I take it off, you might notice that it's kind of an oval shape, but it's got some flat sides there on the 2 sides. See the flat side right there and right there, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be a geometric shape with a name on it. It can be a combination, and it doesn't even have to just be a circle. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what else I can find to trace for my scavenger hunt picture. Okay, so I'm in the living room now, and I have this bean bag for, you know, those cornhole tosses, and this has cloth around it, and I really like my Pepsi bag, so I don't want to trace that. But I do have these blocks here that the kids were playing with. Where's my pick camera? And I can't trace that. And so I'm going to set that down here. Let's see, where do I want to put it? I'm going to set that down on my paper. Hold on just a second. I'm going to trace it. Okay, so now I've traced around my block. And go ahead and take it off. You might notice that it's kind of a square. It's got rounded edges. You might also notice that I messed up a little bit right there. So if I was you and I was tracing this, I would use a pencil. So I'm putting my blocks away. See that? Oh, look. We have Danny's game controller. I wonder, what do you think? Do you think that I could maybe trace this game controller? And I'm not trying to make a picture of anything, so you know, I'm just putting it on here to make it look interesting. So I'm kind of playing with how I set it, and I can trace all the way around it. Okay, so hold on, I'm going to try and trace Danny's game controller. Okay, so I traced the game controller. I didn't do this part up here where the wire is. Now you can see the game controller. That game controller kind of looks like a dog's head, doesn't it? Okay, let me see what else I can find. These are my drums, and I can take one of these cymbals off right here. They make a lot of noise if the swing nut falls. Well, I'm going to take this cymbal off and turn it upside down, because there is a hole in the middle of my cymbal, and I can make little holes. Now my cymbal is big, so I can't really tell exactly where my, move that candle out of the way, exactly where I'm making my circles. So I'm just checking back, lifting it up so I can see. Oops, didn't get the whole thing there. Okay. Well, now I have a few small circles. Hold on. Let me see what else I can find. Okay, now I'm in the bathroom. Okay. This is the bathroom. And I have found something in the bathroom. And it is not that. A toilet paper roll. Now, pretty much everybody uses toilet paper, so everybody should have toilet paper rolls. And you should be saving your toilet paper rolls because we can make some cool things with them. So, toilet paper roll has got a circle, and also it has a rectangle. See that? And you can leave it round, or you can push it flat. My mom's stuff is in the way. Okay, and I'm just going to trace it just like that. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I pushed it down and traced it. I'm going to take it off. Voila! And there I have a rectangle. Alright, let me go around. I don't see much else in here besides circles. Go around and see what else I can find. Okay, this is my room. Sitting on my bed. This is the best place in the house to be. And I find little things that my kids have given me for Christmas. And I found this little thing because I like to sit in the bathtub and read. So I get a little bath thing. So that's what this is, filled up with bath stuff. And I'm going to lay it down here. Notice this one's not a circle. It's not a square. It's got a heart to it. And so I'm going to trace it. I'm going to find a good spot on my paper to make my design interesting. And hold on a second. I'm going to trace it. Okay, that was probably the hardest one because it liked to move a little bit. Okay, so now, if you look at my paper, I've got several things that I've traced. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10 different shapes. That's a lot. You don't have to use 10 different shapes, but you want to have at least 4 or 5, and you might want to have some overlapping so that they're on top of each other. And then you have these cool areas inside. Okay. Hold on a second. Let's go back into my room. Okay, so now that I'm back in my room, and I've got my art supplies here, I'm going to have to decide what colors I want to use. So this one is pink violet, I think it says. Violet red. I'm going to start with violet red. So I'm going to pick a spot, and I'm going to color it in with the violet red. And I'm going to pay careful attention to my lines because we don't want scribbles. Nice and neat artwork. I'm not in any big hurry. This is not a rush job. It doesn't have to be done in one day. Okay, and I just have a few places. Now, take a look at my colors. Look at it. My mom had these. And there's a lot of colors there. Wouldn't you say there's a lot of colors there? I'm trying to put the cap on my marker. And so I have a lot of choices. But if you don't have a lot of choices, that's okay too. You don't have to have a lot of choices. You just have to have good planning of what you're going to use. So I got this green looking one, and it says Crayola. It doesn't even say what color it is. It just says Crayola. So it just says, can you see it there? I don't know where the camera is. There it is. It just says Crayola.com. No color, but it's a green looking color. Green's not usually my favorite, but it's a green color. So I'm going to find a few spots to color in with this green color. It looks kind of like baby food peas, which is a little gross. Whoops. Alright, and once again, I'm being very careful around my lines. Okay. And I'm just coloring a few areas. Now remember, like I said, if you don't have a lot of color choices, then you want to make sure you plan well, because you don't want to have this part and this part be the same color, because it takes away from the uniqueness. Then you just have the shapes that you traced rather than the shapes that you get from your overlapping. Now, if you didn't overlap your shapes, then you won't have these extra interesting shapes, okay? Now, the cool thing about this is, even if you don't have the color white as a marker, because I don't have the color white as a marker, and I lost my cap again, you can leave some spaces white, okay? And leaving some of the spaces white makes it interesting. If you leave a lot of spaces white, like I have a lot of spaces that are still white, it doesn't really use the white to make it interesting. So you might want to think about, if you are not sure what color to put in something, just leave it white for a while, and then maybe you'll go back and figure that something looks good in there, a different color looks good in there, or maybe not. Maybe you'll get finished with your picture and you'll think, that kind of looks good white, okay? So I'm going to flip my camera back around. Okay, so that is our scavenger hunt shape art. Okay, and so if you are working on your scavenger hunt art, then you want to make sure that you take your time with it. You want to make sure that you color neatly and try and get different shapes. Don't get everything the same shape. I started with a couple of circles and added a couple more, but I also went around and looked for things that were interesting shapes and different shapes. So you want to make sure that you've got at least 4 or 5 shapes, maybe 5 or 6, depending on how big your paper is and how big your shapes are. And make good use of your space, spread them out, don't put them all right on top of each other, and just have fun and color it in. So if you finish this, there will be an assignment that says Scavenger Hunt Art 1, and you'll be able to post it there. But wait until you're finished, okay? And I will see you later. Have a blast with it. Bye.